Rising, Grand Rising. I want to share something, you guys. Um, just give me a minute. Hope everybody's doing well. Today is August 1st. August 1st. Okay, just give me a minute. Drinking some coconut. Yes, I'm drinking out of the bottle. Um, this is organic coconut blend. Lakewood. This stuff is really good. They have coconut. They have all different kinds of this. Okay, this is one of my favorite coconut and beets and carrot. Okay. Um, I want to talk about the spiritual realm because I'm led to talk about it. Okay. Sorry, I got this spot, you guys, on here. I dyed my hair. I've been very busy. Okay, very very busy. I'm gonna be doing a lot of lives today. Um, I want you to listen to my friend, my sister from Africa. Um, so she can break down the spiritual realm fully so you can understand it. Okay. I have experienced this myself. Okay. Um, and she breaks it down beautifully. Okay. This is my sister from Africa. Now, she's going to break down the spiritual realm for you guys. It's kind of a long video, so you guys can join me now. Um, this girl is dropping true knowledge, true gems. Um, and she has a lot of wisdom. Okay, a lot of wisdom. And she explains to us the breakdown of the spiritual realm itself and how through our bloodline. Okay, our bloodline. She breaks it down very well. Okay, so I'm going to play her video. Okay, um, she is my friend from Trinidad and Tobago. Okay. Um, so I want you guys to listen to this. This is very true what she's saying. Okay. I have experienced this as a psychic. Okay. Um, and a lot of people don't understand when I say we speak to the ancestors. Okay. They think it's sorcery and all this other stuff. It's not sorcery. Okay. Don't get it confused. But some of this new age stuff, people summon spirits and stuff like that, that is not good. Okay. Um, but speaking to the ancestors is very profound. Okay. But she's going to break it down. So I'll let you guys watch her video. Here we go.
And it's this. The spirit world is similar to the real world in a sense, right? So I want to teach you a little bit about understanding some things in the spirit world. Some of you all already understand this, and some of you all may not have understand this, right? So Sitaram, peace and love, love and light, good morning, alafia to nations, to tribes, to people. To you I greet, and to the unseen that I greet, and I will explain. So remember I told you guys there are worlds within this world, and in these different worlds and planes there are beings that exist. Now when it is we talk about beings, meaning to say that different ranks of spirits that is in the spirit world. The same way in this physical world we have different status of people in this world. So rank is like your status, right? Now, what happens is this. Remember, I tell you, there is cycles that happens within our earth life. And in these cycles, we grow and we transform. All right, the growing and transform, this allow us to rank up in the spirit world or to rank up within our own self within this world. There are many people who are in high ranks on this plain earth within the spirit world, but they are not high ranked in the world itself. Okay, I want you to understand this. This is why when you look at the Bible and certain things they talk about, when they say Lord and they say God and they say mother and they say queen and they say father and they say king and they say, governor and all these different types of things. And you get even the energy of the Christ. And Christ is also a status that is in the spirit world. You may have teachers, sages, prophets, you may have healers and stuff like that. But a lot of people just get it mixed up. So I'll try to explain it very quickly because I don't want to do a long live. All right? So what happened is this. Like you have your family. I'm going to start from basic. In your family, you have your grandmother, you have your grandfather. They give birth to your mother and they give birth to your father. Now, your grandmother has certain information in she DNA from all the mother lineage or the matriarch within the family. But they also carry some of the information from the patriarch system too as well. And then your father, he has certain information and certain things from his ancestral side that happens in the family. Now, the two ancestors come together and in agreement to basically come to bring you into this world. Now, when you come into the world, you have access to the knowledge of your ancestors on your grandmother's side and also access to information on your grandfather's side. Now, what happens too as well is that you have your parents and then you come to having you. Now, when you're small and you go and you're talking to your mother, you will address she as mommy. Even though her name might be Michelle or her name might be, Lisa, or your name might be Carrie or whatever the name. Because you is coming from that lineage, you will have respect for her and you will address she as a title of mommy or you will address she as a title of mother. The same thing too that happens with your father. Because of the rank that your father holds, because of the level that you are, you will address him as father. Also, this happens in the spirit world. When you go and you get baptized and you have a spiritual mother or a spiritual father, the reason why they are addressed that way and the rank to you, it is because of the knowledge that they have and the position that they hold within your life. So this is why you have that rank there. Now, what happens too as well, we have lost the hierarchy system in this world. And I will explain. In a family is a kingdom. A family is a kingdom. You have to remember that. In this kingdom, this is your sovereignty kingdom. This is like your own world in a sense, your own tribe. So in Africa, when you were born in a certain clan, you would have certain elders. So even though you might be powerful, even though you might be gifted, even though you might have whatever you may have, money, you always have to respect the hierarchy system within the family community or within the general community. So this is why they will see and they have a certain way they may greet the elder, or there are a certain way they will speak to the elder, or when the elder is speaking, the people shut up and listen and stuff like that. Now I would say, okay, why it is they will give that respect? Because our elder is someone who is versed in wisdom. An elder is someone who have lived many lifetimes or have lived long enough to have certain wisdom. Now this happens as well as the spiritually. There are some people on this planet, they're born with the spirit of an elder. So from a child, you would find that this person have certain qualities about them. They do not behave as the normal child would be. They will be more into it when coming to wisdom and stuff like that. Sometimes what happens, you find this particular child will try to mother you as the mother. This particular son will try to father you. This particular child will want to correct you. But when I say mother you or father you, meaning to say, when you do wrong, they would pull you up. When it is they find that you're not making a proper decision, they would pull you up. What happens to us, well, that they come to bring the family on a next level of wisdom to as well. So this has happened. So there are some people who are born with a certain title, so that they grow into the title, and even though the world doesn't acknowledge them in that way because they do not see it spiritually, in the spiritual world they hold that particular title, and you cannot take away because it is given, because that is the soul itself or the purpose in which this particular being come here to do. Now, what happens to us? Well, there are people who born with certain rank, like Jesus or Yeshua. They would say he was born to be the Christ. That is the rank that he was born to be. There are people also too within this world. They are born in the title of king. They are born in the title of queen. They are born in the title of Lord. They are born in the title of a goddess. They are born in certain title. But because we have been conditioned only to see life through the concept of religion, we bypass the hierarchy system, or we bypass or we close off our eyes from seeing the spiritual rank that a particular person has. Now, this happening on the physical world are going to go a carrier now in the spirit world. Now, in the spirit world, these portals and dimension that I mentioned have certain rank of spirits. Now, that means to say that spirit has rank just like you and I. So this is why some people, excuse me a little bit, right? This is why some people, when they go into the spirit world and they speak to spirit, spirit bow to them, or spirit respect them, or spirit basically will answer the things that they say they want get done because of who they are spiritually. We are not all on the same status. Do you understand this? When you are a child in the spirit world, it means you have a young soul. It means that your soul is very adventurous. It is, learning new things and those type of things. So there are new souls that has come on the planet and has come through this to experience life on this earth. So when they come, they tend to be very playful and fun-like, and they want to experience the 3D dimension. So their main purpose is that. But then there are souls or spirits that come down from higher planes of existence, and they carry certain rank and status. So even though they are in the human body or the mortal body, their rank is very high in the spirit world. So it is naturally within themselves that when spirit sees them, spirit acknowledge them. Now, I'm going to teach you and tell you this. Sometimes when you go into a place, or you are home, or you go out, you might find that you have certain things in your hand and fall to the ground, and you bow to the ground to pick it up. The reason why you bow to the ground to pick it up, because subconsciously you are living both subconscious and the subconscious mind and the unconscious mind. So the unconscious mind, which is the spiritual side of you, what happens is this: it knows that there's a spirit present there. So in order for you to show reverence and respect, sometimes it fall out of your hand. So you're going to pick it up and you bow, in knowing that you're actually bowing because of the presence of the spirit that is apparent or stand up there in front of you. But you don't have eyes to see that the spirit is stand up there. But if you are spiritually enough, when you do it, you're going to recognize that there is a certain spirit that is standing here. This is why you see the Hindus, and then when they greet you and they say Sitaram or they say Namaste, it is the greetings to say, I greet the divinity. I greet the divinity that I am seeing in you. So they are not greeting the flesh. They are greeting the spirits that is inside of you that they are acknowledging. This is why they greet that way. The Chinese, when they come to greet the elders or they greet someone, they bow because they are not bowing to the flesh. They are bowing to the divinity or the spirit man that is inside of you, or that because that is on a different level of divinity than your physical body. Every one of us need to recognize this, and they do not explain it to you. So some people might say, you know, everything is the bowing and the way this bow thing is for. In Orisha, when they go to greet the elders, they would touch the feet of the elder. Or they would, you know, sometime in India too, you would see they touch their feet and stuff like that. This is why when it is, you see the people married, they would go and pay homage and respect to the parents, because they are in the hierarchy system, they are the ones who stand in authority. This happens too as well, even with the Chinese. When they marry them, they bow to the elders to show reverence and respect because of the hierarchy system. This happens too as well. This happens too as well. Also in the spirit world. When you call a spirit, especially a spirit that is a governor or a lord or has the title of a god in the spirit world, sometimes when you go to them, depending on the rank that you are, you will basically be meeting the workers. You will be basically meeting a spirit that will represent them, but a lot of people don't realize that. But you're not really meeting the real spirit. You understand me? Sometimes the real spirit, because of the position they are at, they are sitting on thrones in the spirit world. So it is very unlikely some of us will meet them. What they will meet is workers and people or spirits that is associated with them. So I will draw example again. When you go to meet the Prime Minister, do you go straight to the Prime Minister? No, you don't. You don't go meet the Prime Minister just so. In order for you to meet the Prime Minister, you have to be bloodly related to the Prime Minister, where he knows you on that connection, on a personal connection, in order for you to meet him face to face. Unless they, because of the position that you are, they will meet face to face. Now, there are periods and time in which the spirit may come and visit you and stuff like that, but it is not on a regular basis. This happens in the spirit world. Do you understand it? So that is why when some people call, that is how they get the answers very quickly. While others calling, they may not be answered because the name or the voice is not known or heard because of the rank that they are in. Now again, I will explain further. Remember when they're talking about in the Bible, they say how no man enter to go to the Father except you go to the Son. So what it is they're telling you is that the rank of the Father is of the great source and the great king. You cannot go there just so, except you have a certain title or you are in a certain closely related. So what they do, they have someone who might be like the Lord or might be the governor that you could go to and talk to, and then them go on behalf of those. There are spirits in the spirit world that praise on behalf of us human beings because they are connected to us. So they offer prayers on our behalf, so to the higher one, so that you will be able to get your wishes or your prayers granted. Now, there are people who in this world that have been chosen, that they are either in the form of a priest or the form of a priestess. It means that you have the connection where you could go directly to the source, where you could go directly to the being, when you could go directly to this being. Now, this happens too as well when you are called to do certain specific purpose. You have to understand the spirit world is as busy as also is in this world too. You see how we up and down and we this and we studying this and we fixing that? Likewise, it has spirit that does that. Now, there are celestial beings and there are terrestrial beings. There are beings that lives on the earth, and there are earthbound beings. There are spirit of nature, and there are the elementals. There are many different categories of spirit that exist in nature, and above nature there are spirit that live beyond the planets, and there are spirit that live that governs solar systems. There are spirits that governs galaxies. Do you understand? There are spirit that govern the doorkeeping of time. There are spirit that guards the era. There are spirit that sleeps. Remember, I told you that they sleep for certain amount of thousands of years, and then they awaken. Spirits are not little beings like you and I. A lot of them are giants. A lot of them are huge. And the reason why they are giants and huge, it is because of the energy capacities that they hold, that they could turn over worlds. They can turn over mountains. They can turn over all these things. This is why when it is they were describing in the Bible, and they say that God's foot sits on the sea and the next foot is across the land. And it tells you also as well. Sometimes you see spirit is so huge, they look down upon the earth because the earth is such a small place compared to the vastness of the universe that in which we are. Now, these are some knowledge in which spirit have taught me and shown me within the universe, and I'm giving you this knowledge so that you can be aware. You can either take it or you can either leave it, but that is how it is. Everything that happens on a gigantic scale is happening also on a miniature scale. It is very minute that is happening within the smallest creatures and the smallest particle, and it is also happening too as well in the cosmos, in the microcosmos, and in the major cosmos as well. These are things that is laws within the universe that cannot change. This is why every time when it is you go to church, what you are trying to do, you are trying to level up. You are trying to level up spiritually. This is what all of us is trying to do, because the more that you level up is the greater position or the greater authority that you have in the spirit world and in this physical world. But there are people in this world who doesn't have that authority, but yet still in high position. And you need to recognize that. And this is why, even though they're in certain position, whether they're pastor, priest, bishop, imam, this, that, wherever it is, if God has not given you the appointed power and the appointed authority in the spirit world, you could take whatever position you say you want in this physical world. But when you go in the spiritual world, they will not acknowledge you because of the position that you are in. So this happens on massive scales throughout the universe that a lot of people is not aware of, or it don't seem to care. Now, this is why too as well, when it is you go and you get the title of a queen in the spirit, or you get the title of a king in the spirit, it means that you have nations to make proper decisions over. It means also that your bloodline in which you come down from, it is your time to reign. So in your time to reign, it means to say that you have to look over the energy of your family, or you have to make good decisions, or you have to be a person of valor, integrities, and stuff like that. There are those who are warriors, and when you are a warrior, it means that you either come down from a tribe of people who are warriors, or you are either a warrior king or warrior queen, meaning to say that your energy has been through many wars within the universe, and you have mastered the art of what it is to be a warrior. So therefore, within your natural life, you will fight a lot of battles, and you must say, why am I fighting these battles? Because it is in your spirit that this energy of knowing how to overcome these battles. This is why you are fighting these battles, because the position that you are, but you forget who you are. So when battles come, you're giving up and say, but you see me, I can't take this, I can't this. But the universe knows that you have the warrior inside of you. And a warrior is gained title by the wars that they fight and they overcome. And as they overcome this battle, you reach up into the rank of a lieutenant. From lieutenant to sergeant, you go up to be general. When you become a general, there are sections of the universe. I will explain. Just like you have your body, right? and your body you have your heart cells. The heart cells is different from the liver cells. The cells that is in your kidney might be different to the cells that is in your brain. So each part of your organs has certain types of cell in which it is built for that position in your body. You understand? It happens so when you look at in the universe, there are people who are built and who are cells like in certain position or category in which you is your function. So some people are the warriors. They are warriors. You can go straight up to warrior king. You can straight up to go up to the energy of being like, so when you have that that energy, you are in the position within the universe of being defenders, being fighters, being protectors. Then you have those who might be the energies of the elders. So they have to deal with wisdom. So you will move from run rank to being up into the rank of being a king or a queen or a Christ-like or a sage or a teacher or illuminated being, going up and going up. So because of the knowledge that you have. So this is what happened. We reach certain ranks while we are here on this earth. When we transpire and we go into a different phase in the spirit world, therefore what happens is we get certain commands to do. It's either we come back and help the world again and go through the process, or we evolve and go on a next plane of existence of life in where we skills is needed to help on that level of existence. So we move from level to help and to add to wherever we go. Do you understand this? When a soul is rebellious, or when a soul is not functioning in what they're supposed to do, they go into correction. They go into correction. And when they go into correction, we would say jail cells. So some of them become bongs. And when they become bong, they be bong for a certain amount of years, a certain amount of hundreds of years, millenniums sometimes, because the soul was rebellious. And if it is, the soul have not make penance to change and stuff like that, what happens? It becomes more grotesque. And it moves up in the rank where it becomes more demon-like, and then it becomes like a fallen angel. It becomes like, so it's like moving from one rank to a rank. So there are levels to evil. There are levels to good. There are levels to protection. There's a level to wisdom. There's a level to, and there's a hierarchy system that is happening constantly. And this hierarchy system is happening in this world, and the hierarchy system is happening in the spirit world. In the spirit world, it's not about how much material possession you have. In this world, you could have a big house and you could have plenty money. People will look at you and say, oh, you're valuable and all of that. In the spirit world, you could mean nothing. In the spirit world, you could basically be nothing. You could just be a soul experience in life in this realm, and then when you pass on, you have to come back again to learn more things. So physical experiences, what happens is, and the position that you are in this world, it does not, it doesn't really say that if you're rich in this world, you're rich in the next world. If it is your high position in this world, no, it don't work like that. What happens is this: everybody has certain things that they come here to do. So let me draw examples. So like we say, the prime minister come in this world, and it is in his destiny to be the prime minister. But to be the prime minister, he had to learn certain lessons, and he could be either good or he could either be evil. And based on how he ruled, it will determine what will happen to him when he come across in the spirit world. Now, when you go across the spirit world, he had the answer to his ancestors. He had the answer to the spirits that made the contract for he to come here to be that. So that is why when we die and we go across the spirit world, this is where judgment finds us. And when judgment finds us, this is where you appear before the council of elders. And before the council of elders is the ancestors. Those are the council of elders, because those are the high-ranking officials within the family lineage. So you have to answer to your family lineage of the things that you do on this realm, and then you have to go now, and you have to go to a higher perspective, a higher judging system, in which you have to answer now. You're on your spiritual level. So remember, I tell you, you have your soul, you have your spirit, you have your physical body. So your physical body is judged when you die here on this earth. It dies and it goes. Judgment is here for the physical body. It goes. Then in your spirit, your soul is beginning. You have to finish your contract. You have to give account for your contract in the spirit world when you go. You meet your ancestors. They come and they let you know. There is a God that stands between the gate, between life and death. He opens the doors for you to go across. Some people, when it is they die and they see a door opening and they go, but they doesn't see the guard that is standing there. I have seen the guards that stand there. They open the door. It's like going through a corridor and there is darkness. And at the end of the corridor, there's this big door with this light. When the door opens, you go through that portal. Once you go through that portal, you are going into the spirit world. When you reach across there, you will meet some of your ancestors, those who are standing in high position. They will ask you what it is that you have done. They will pull up like your life less beginning. Like, you know how when it is you go to the hospital, it has files? So you have files too. So everything you do, they write in. The universe is bearing witness. So what happens is when your file is pulled, they see everything you do from the moment you come across here to the moment that you go across back. And when it is they ask you, they put you on top of what it is, why you do this, there are people who come and they stand on your behalf. They're your guides that come and stand on your behalf. There are certain energies that come and stand on your behalf. There are your ancestors that they come and stand on your behalf. And if it is you find wanting or you are guilty and you find that there is nobody who wants to stand on your behalf because you was wicked and evil, what happens is you get punishment. You understand me? And your soul either get bound and you get bound to spend certain amount of time to repay the energy that in which you was given and you waste time with. So you have to repay back the universe. And when it says you repay back the universe and you change, you get a next chance to come back to get it right. And what happens is if you don't get it right, you grow from one level of wickedness to the next until you reach a point where it is your soul is destroyed. You're no longer in existence at all because you refuse to even change at all. And this is where people let's talk about, hell. This is where people let's talk about a place where the soul is damned in a sense there because there is no correction that is taking place, or the soul refuses to change, or it refuses to grow and stuff like that. Now, let me tell you something. That is why there are certain spirits that have been bound for eons. And yes, there have been shackles and all these different things for a certain amount of time. Then God released them on the earth again to see what it is that they will do. And when they get released and they come on the earth, depends on what they do. They can either do good or they could do bad. When they do bad, they go back and thing, and sometimes they be destroyed because they're not changing. God is so merciful. The universe is so amazing in many, many, many perspectives. And just like I told you there, whether you want to believe me or not, it is up to you. But this is things that I've seen and understand, and certain things spiritually. I don't know everything. But this is the things that I have been taught and what I have seen happening also in the spirit world. This is why when you go in the spirit world, you'll be meeting people who you never meet because they are your ancestors, they are your tribe, they are your tribe men. There are people on this earth that you will meet and they look like you, they sound like you, they talk like you. You may not have the connection with the blood to say where they come from. You see, when you go into Africa and you see certain tribes, they look alike. So sometimes you meet somebody that look like you, they can be from your soul tribe. They can be from a part of your bloodline that you do not know about, or the tribe you come from but you don't know about because you can't really say who know who and stuff like that. You understand? Then you have people who are from soul tribes. The soul tribe is the position in which your soul comes from. So let me say You come from, like we said, the 7th dimension. So you meet somebody who also come from the 7th dimension. And when they come down here and you meet them up, it's like, boy, I feel like I know you. And it's like, yeah, I feel I know you too. And the way how you think, the way how you see life, the way how you perceive life will be on that level because all your soul originated from that level. You understand me? So just like you have when you talk about Jacob saw the ladders in which the angel was ascending and descending, those are ladders to different steps and portals and planes that exist in the spirit world. So this is why I tell people, you see these things that they're teaching you in the church down here, it is small matter. It is small matter compared to the types of debating, the types of the types of things that is be happening in the spirit world, and the levels, and the dimensions, and the planes. There are spirits that are huge and carry titles of God in the spirit. It have spirits that are carrying the title of Lord in the spirit. There are spirits that carry the title of Christ. And so likewise in the positive aspect, so likewise in the lower realms too as well. So there are demons, and there are demi-demons, there are imps, there are certain spirits that have certain things. There are certain spirits you could just shift and move and get rid of them because there's small level 1, level 2 spirit. But then when you reach on spirit, that's on level 10 demon, or level 10 of a demigod, or level 10 of this. You think you could move them with salt? You think you could move them at that level? You have to get somebody who on that level or higher to be able to move that entity or move that being or to dismiss that energy in order for that person to be free. And this is what happened. Now, when it is God waking you up to your purpose and waking you up to your gift, and you here fighting, and I don't want to be this, I don't want to see this, I don't want to do that, you stopping the people who supposed to come by you for help. You stopping the people who you're supposed to heal. You stopping the people who you're supposed to teach. You stopping all the people that was lined up in the world, in the spirit world, that's supposed to meet you to get certain things in this world, but you refuse to share your gift. You refuse to acknowledge who you are. You refuse to take up your purpose. So therefore, all the rest of people that have been waiting on you, you have now stopped the line. You have now stopped the line. You have now back up all the things. So it's like that. You ever see you have files on your tables and you're filing and you stop a file and the people down on the ground, especially, Mama say to tell all about the government system. You go on and you put in your application and the government have your thing. You're waiting for them to give you confirmation. Them have a whole line of thing back up there, and the person who's supposed to be given the authority, nobody by the desk. So all this files stuck up there, and people on the ground for quarreling, eating up, all kind of thing going on with their life, because the person in the office not putting the stamp, not signing the signature, not moving and not getting the work done. This has happened with we mortals. This has happened with we human beings. We supposed to be in the office. We supposed to be in your position. And in your position is where you're fixing file and signing thing and you're moving along. Finish this, go so. Finish so, go so. Finish so. So you are not meant to go into a place and be stuck. You're supposed to go, get what you're supposed to get and keep moving. Go and get what it is. Then when you get enough, you graduate. You become a level in which you could stand on your own. Because there are people in which are waiting on you to be in the position that you're supposed to be. So that they could come to get the help that they need from you. Because there is an interconnected process that is happening in the spirit world. The same way there's an interconnected process that's happening in business, that's happening in your house, that's happening in nature, happening in everything. That is happening too as well. So while you stopping yourself, so the next person who's supposed to meet you, and you know what the universe does, and say, okay, too much people backing up waiting on you, take you out, send you back in the spirit world, replace you and send somebody else to work in the position. When the person come in the position, boom, the work start and they start to work, they obedient, they're doing the work. The files start moving, people start moving, people keep growing, people keep expanding, people coming into finding out who they are, and so the process going again and again and again and again and again. But we ain't saying that. All we saying is get up, married, study man, go this, study that, study that. Yes, these are blessings that we have on the way. But we didn't come here for that purpose only. We have greater purpose in which we have blueprint written within our destiny. Blueprint with written codes and information written in you to do certain things. You come here to do certain things. Let me tell you something. There are people, like we say Bob Marley, this one, that one, these people who you see come here, they come for certain reason, they come for certain purpose. They come to help, and the masses that they help, they help them get to some recognition. The person leaves and go. They are congratulated, they are elevated, they are rewarded, they have certain titles that they get and remain in the spirit world. When it is you're in the way you're supposed to do, and spirit had to say, you see, you wasting time, boom, send you back in the spirit world. When you go back in the spirit world, you're crying. When you go back in the spirit world, you now recognize, oh gosh, boy, you get caught up on the words. You get caught up in the matrix. You get caught up with the lies. You get caught up with the illusions. You forget who you was. You forget the purpose. It's like if your mother give you a list and tell you go by the shop, and you go on by the shop and you playing with your friends, and then when it is your mother reach up the hill and say, I didn't send you in the shop to get so and so, and your mother start to hit you some slap, and you start to cry, that is the simplest way I could describe it for you. That is the simplest way I could say. And say, you playing the fool, blah, 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 blah. When they do so, when they say the Bible say that it's a bed of affliction. So when you get slapped from the spirit, they just put you in a bed. When you see spirit hit you, some slap, they just get you sick. When you see spirit, and that is being merciful. Because some people and some spirit, they don't play like that. They don't even give you a little sickness and then make you get better. Some of them wipe you out one time and send you back. Or you playing evil, because there are spirits that have certain levels of tolerance as well. Just like we humans have certain level of tolerance, there are certain levels of tolerance spirit have. Some spirit will tolerate. Your guides will beg for you, pray on your behalf and say, have mercy, oh God, they go get themselves together. And there are some spirit, they have no tolerance. What they do is that you on shit, boom, they take you out, send you and replace you, let somebody else get the work going, and then keep the line moving. So, my dear, I just want you to know that hierarchy system is very important. Just remember that. This is why some people could call the rain. This is why some people could pray, and when the rains have to pour down, nature hears them. There are some people, they could call out the sun. There are some people, they could call the breeze. There are some people, they could talk to the animals. There are some people, they have people with these abilities, but there are people who doesn't want to believe when they tell them that, because they're so caught up into the matrix and the 3D mindset. This is why there are beings that come down here and they come from higher dimension. There are souls that is from higher dimension because of the purpose. So when you look at Jesus, anyhow, I don't want to go there. Join my class this weekend. We'll be talking about Jesus and spirituality with you around him.
All right, you guys. Love and light. Love and light. I will be back on later. Love and light. Ashe, ashe. I hope you learned something from that.